Okay. Spectraseis is the next exhibitor we're going to introduce you to here on Kan Media, and joining us is the CEO, Todd Chuckery. Thanks very much for being here.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about your company before we get into things.
Spectraseis is a surface frac monitoring company. Its origin is out of Zurich, Switzerland. We've been in business for about 10 years. We moved to North America probably about 2 years ago, due in large part to the interest from our large E&P customers that our offerings and our technologies and our methodologies were ideally suited for the frac monitoring business. So we relocated from Zurich, Switzerland in 2011 and have established ourselves as what I would consider to be one of the key frac monitoring companies in North America.
So tell me, I mean, you hear a lot about fracking these days. How important is the monitoring aspect of things?
Well, it's how you look at it. I think from an E&P company standpoint or an oil and gas industry, it's extremely important. They want to understand with the new technologies in frac monitoring that will take place in Canada, for example. Currently we're drilling 463 horizontal wells in BC. If the Kitimat and a lot of the LNG opportunities take place or come on stream, that's going to increase to 1,200. Due to that, the importance of frac monitoring is going to increase substantially. How do I create my well spacing? Like where's my reservoir? How is my reservoir being stimulated? It's going to be a huge component for Northeast BC as well as Canada. The other aspect to our business is induced seismicity monitoring, which there's been a lot of things taking place in the U.S. that wastewater disposal and frac monitoring have induced seismic events. So currently we're involved in a number of projects in Northeast BC with oil and gas producers to put in monitoring stations so that they can become more proactive in their approach to how their treatments are and demonstrate to the province that they're not as at risk as what may have earlier been perceived to be so.
Well, I'm tempted to say that there's a lot of negative publicity around fracking. I don't know that it's a lot or if it's just vocal, but how do you try to allay fears then? Because you're obviously out there trying to make sure that nothing goes wrong.
Well, it's really not for us. That's not our role. Our role is to assist oil and gas producers to understand how the fracture treatment took place. At the same time, better educate them in where their fracture treatments are taking place. There's a lot of negative publicity based on groundwater, getting involved in groundwater and these types of things, and I think that's a lack of public awareness and interaction from the fracking companies. Not so much from companies like ourselves, because we provide a service that helps E&P companies understand where their fracture treatments are actually taking place. So,
and then it'd be up to the companies to get the word out as to what's going on, I imagine.
I think I think in Canada, as well the U.S., I think there's a real people want to be partners with the community, right? And they want to have the community have a better understanding of what they're doing. So, as I said, there's a large misconception, and I think that comes from a number of negative, publicities or ads that have suggested that, fracking is damaging. If you look at what fracking employs, it's fantastic for local economies, and when you're actually fracking something that's 2,200 meters or 10,000 feet in depth. Personally, I've been in the oil and gas industry for 28 years, and it surprises me to even think that any type of fracking fluids could actually get up into groundwater that would affect locals. So, but I think companies are being more proactive. They're being stewards of the land. They respect the Aboriginal aspect in Canada, and they want to do everything they possibly can to work with them accordingly, so that there's a partnership versus oil company versus community, so to speak. So,
Todd, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
We've been chatting with Todd Chuckery here on Kan Media.